Well, this is exciting from OpenAI. They finally released access to the API key for the image generator. Now, if you have been missing it, it's been out for a while. OpenAI's image generator is awesome because it creates awesome images. It keeps the characters the same. Not only that, it's really good with text and infographics. So, with the API key, we can build it into automations and do automated social media outreach, for example, or automate things and posting on your Instagram. But it's not as simple as what you think it might be. There's a couple of tricks and tips that you need, and a couple of things that's going to trip you up. And if you don't know them, you're not going to get access and you're not going to be able to do these awesome automations. So by the end of this video, I'll show you a full make.com automation, creating the image and actually posting it to Instagram. And it's not as straightforward as you think it might be. So I'm going to cut out all the fluff and just get into creating the image and posting it. So it's going to be fun. Come with me, step by step, no intro is more than this, and let's get into it. Okay, straight to the point. OpenAI earlier on this year brought out the image generation tool straight in their platform. And it's really good because it creates really good images, really good quality images. It keeps the images consistent over different prompts, but it's also good at creating actual bits of art or infographics, kind of like these little ones down here. That's really cool. Then earlier on this week, they brought along the API version of it, which means you can add it into automations like this to automatically create images and post them on your social media. But it's not as straightforward as you may think. There is a couple of tips and tricks that's going to trip you up if you just try to do it, because it's not just a normal ChatGPT prompt, it's an actual OpenAI call, and we're going to do some things with the file. But I'm going to show you it. I'll go through it step by step so you can understand. And by the end of the day, we'll be able to add infographics, kind of like these ones in here, that just gets posted out to your social media. It looks really cool, especially if you have a page that's full of these, or cool, awesome looking random things like this. So let's get straight into the prompt. So number one thing that is going to trip everyone up is you need to come to OpenAI. You obviously need to put money on your account, but you need to figure out how to do the validation / verification of you. So you need to be verified as an actual human being, and that involves the whole thing where you scan your phone, take a photo of your face and your government ID, and you become verified as a real person, and therefore you get access to the API. Now, to prepare for all of this, instead of building out an extra automation for it and showing you a real cool long workflow on how to create a prompt and how to create a caption, so we'll use it later on, I just went ahead and I went to my LLM. I actually used Gemini for this one, and I said, give me 30 prompts and give me 30 captions that relate to those prompts. And I chucked them in the sheet. So this is really cool because we're going to have the sheet ID, we're going to have the prompt, we're going to have the caption that goes with the prompt, and we're going to have the post status, which is yes or no. And that just means it's actually going to cycle through this every day, where it's going to find anything that says no posted, it's going to post it and then change it to yes. So go for the next one, next one. And of course, you can automate all of these again and add them in later on. But hey, just wanted to save you. These are prompts. Create an infographic illustration. Here's the tag for it. Okay. And the one I just did in here, it's just a bit longer, a bit more of a prompt, just to kind of create the image that we've seen in here. Okay, so play with the prompt and you can actually add and test these in the playground now from OpenAI, and you don't have to use the chat function, which is really good and really cool. But let's quickly look at the workflow. So workflow, first things up, I'm not going to build it from the start. We're just going to rush through it so you can get to the bits that's going to trip you up. Number one was already get that validation. So number two, we're just going to go through a workflow. So the first step is honestly going to run on a timer, and it's just going to scan your sheet. It's going to go through the post statuses down here, and it's going to find any of it that says no. Okay, so once it has found all that, it's just going to limit the score to 1, and it just finds the very first row.
Okay, so the very first row, and it contains obviously the prompt in the top, and it contains the Instagram description, and the post status is no, and it only limits it to one. So we're only sending one batch as such, instead of sending all 30 or 29, whatever is left, to the next module. So the next module is going to be the OpenAI module. Now, if you go and add a module and you try add the normal module, ChatGPT, and you get the image creation, maybe this will come in later. It's not in there yet. Make.com might ship up and get this ready for you, but image creation in here only is the DALI version, and it just doesn't create good images. Do not use that one. Do not get confused. You need to go and add the Maker API call. And that is exactly down here. Make an API call. So go get yourself an API key. And let me just delete this one. Go get yourself an API key. Add the module that says make an API key. That's the second tip. Okay. And then you need to have this specifically filled in. Now, if you're good at reading the API documentation, you can come and read the API documentation. This is where I got it from. There's different options for creating an image, and you'll pretty much see it down here. This is kind of the curl response that you need to do. This is the JSON image that you need to, or the JSON prompt, and I'll show you where to put all that in. Let's go back to Make. So obviously URL going to be first things first. Again, you get it from up here. Next bit is it's going to be a post request. We are going to send pure JSON to it. It already does the authentication for us because we added our API key in here. Now, the body part is just going to be a JSON string, and it just contains the model name, the prompt that we obviously match from down here. So our prompt in here, oops, you just link that one down, and N is for number, where you want one image. Do not try to make more images because it becomes a problem in the next step, which is your third trick. Okay. So, and the size, this is the size in here. It just means it creates a bit of a image like this, because before I did those, it actually cut off the 1024 in a square. It cuts them off. Instagram just doesn't like it. It likes this version in here. Okay, so remember 1024 times 153. You can again get it all from here, and you will be sorted. Now, that's going to create your image for you. So in this model, when it creates the image, it actually gives it in a hash format. Okay, so we can come in here and you'll see you don't just get an image file, you don't just get a URL. That would just be way too easy. Maybe it's coming in the future. Make.com, ship it up and get ready for it. Not there yet. But what we need to do, obviously, is going to come through, and we are going to use this tool to convert our hashed version. And you can see it in here. It's a really long hash prompt for it. Bundle, body, data, collection, and it's a base 64 JSON encryption, and it's got that many characters. I can't even count that much. Okay. How do you convert this? Well, you need a special formula in make.com for that, and this is the formula to it. So add a variable. Now, if you need to, pause the video for this one, because you need to type that part out manually, and you'll see it will convert it. But it's just converting our base 64 encryption into a normal binary file. Okay, binary files, ones and zeros instead of a hashed out file. So this just creates the actual file for us. Now, again, bunch of code might not make sense. It's a binary document. A bunch of numbers to it. So we have an encryption. We now have a binary file. We need to take that binary file that doesn't make anything in here with our encryption. We're going to upload this to Dropbox. Now, you can use Dropbox. You can use Google Drive, whatever. Google Drive is a little bit harder to get into Make.com. So I use Dropbox, but used an upload of the file, and we're just going to come in here. And all I'm saying is I have the file that I have in here. And I have my folder, and I'm just calling it by the number 1 column. So it's always going to be this part here. So the file will be 7.png, 8.png, 9.png. Okay, so I'm going to call the file, and what am I uploading? I'm uploading that binary data that we just converted. So awesome. We have a prompt, we have a caption. We now created an image that's in a encrypted format. We decrypt it and make it into a binary file. We upload the binary file into Dropbox. But hey, guess what? Dropbox needs to actually be able to share and download the image to put it onto Instagram. How do we do that? Next module on, create, share, and upload a link. So all we're coming in here is we are finding the file. Again, we're linking it. Folder file will be 1.png, 2.png. We're giving it maximum access, so we allow the file to be shared. Therefore, we get a shared URL that we now can go into Instagram, and we can get that downloadable URL, which is just going to be the image. Oops, I did that too much, clicking there too many times. That is just going to be the image for us. It's going to come down here. No, just want to find that actual download one. Here it is. So now we can have this image that it downloads. And again, you can do this in Google Drive if you want to, but we have an actual image that we now can go and add into Instagram, post it, link your mix up into it, your captions, that is row C, captions in there, link it up in here. Sorry, captions. Here we go, row C, captions. Then once that is all done, all we're going to do is then change the no from being posted to yes, we post this. And all we do this is update a row. We go out, we find the sheet, find the row number, link back into here because this gave us a row number. Then in the row number, we are changing row D from no to yes. Bam, and done, and you're done. Easy on, creates an automation. Now, you can change this to whatever you want, okay? So this prompt can be absolutely anything. Happy otter in a pool eating an apple. Okay, this is your prompt. Make it, change it. You can add those into the automations as well to do those extra steps. I don't see the need to pay for the extra steps, especially when you're paying Make.com for the extra steps. You all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Make.com. I like In more. But what's the use of the extra steps when we can just mass produce that and put it into a sheet? Okay, so easy as that, goes through, runs the prompt. All right, so I hope that all made sense, and let's just see what a little auto photo would look like at the end. So just to quickly summarize, things that will trip you up. You need a verification. Took me an hour to figure it out. Then it's not a normal prompt, it's like an API prompt. And for an API prompt, you will need make an API call, but you'll need the documentation bits in here that will tell you what to do, but you can put it into here. It's just busy loading. But you need the URL, it's a post, you need your API loaded, you need that JSON format. And again, you can change those things. These are the things you can change. It's always going to be the GPT-1 model for now. The prompt is going to be what's linked. The number is going to be 1, and the size, I like that size for Instagram. But you can come down here and you can change a couple of things if you want as well. So that's going to create an encrypted file. We're going to create a binary file. The binary file is going to get loaded up. Something is add a line in here. I'll figure that out. It actually expired my authentication. That's all right. Don't worry about that. Creates it and uploads it. Dropbox, from Dropbox, create the share drive, and then loads it back into our Instagram account for us. And automation is done. Easy as that. I have a big problem with Meta, and it won't surprise me. And unable to occur when you try this. Please log back in. So I need to remap it. Anyway, Meta always logs me out. I've actually got a season this is for it. So who knows what happens? This may not be working, but hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it makes sense. And go create awesome AI stuff.